a nod to the ubiquitous nature of what an MUSV can do. And so what we will do is have a set of requirements for a relatively modest set of requirements for an unmanned surface vessel, and then separate requirements for payloads that it can carry. A mask
payloads would be kind of interchangeable, like
yes, sir.
NASA payloads or a lot of our space payloads. It might be a communications technology or it might be something different. And so now you're conceiving of these uncrewed marine systems as similarly kind of you can tailor them different directions with payloads that would fit into what the base vehicle is.
That's exactly correct, Senator.
And Ms. Gassler, you want to comment on that?
From an acquisition perspective, MASC had two phases. It had a phase that specified conversions, a Block 0 phase, and it had a Block 1 phase, which was going to put us into prototyping again for 12 to 18 months. And that's where you referenced the FY29 stand-up of the program, where we would get those newer vessels actually delivered into production. When we went and looked at what was available right now that industry had invested in, and we looked at the urgent operational needs and the requirements that we had been provided, we determined that we would pivot right now. And so we did that over the winter and opened the marketplace. And so what the marketplace is exactly what Admiral Trink explained, but it's actually broader. We have one surface vessel acquisition strategy, and it is to use this type of marketplace for all the vessels in the family, both small, and there are different sizes of small, depending what payload, again, goes on them. And then with the MUSVs, yes, we're going after a specific mission right now, and as we add missions, we will add to that family of vessels as well. And so this is a broader encompassing family of vessels with interchangeable payloads on the MUSV and a larger variety of payloads on the small USV. The original small USVs were focused solely on one-way attack for the most part. So we've we have revised the entire strategy, and that is why we canceled MASC, went to the broader marketplace. We believe that it will accelerate the production vessels into the fleet by at least a year.
Let me ask one other question, and I know Senator Blumenthal is right, but you had a solicitation that closed Friday. You're still analyzing it. I don't want to ask you about particular entrants, but what can you tell us about the health of the industrial base based upon sort of the number and the quality of the and the amount of interest that's been shown by who's responded to the solicitation?
Absolutely. First, even before we get to that, PAE RAS and the Naval RCO have done a number of engagements over the winter, both with the investors and all the small businesses that would be in that kind of rapid capability space, or the hedge force space, which includes all the robotic and autonomous systems. The week after we launched the solicitation, I held a town hall to explain not the solicitation specifically, but to explain the entire marketplace, and we had 300 people dial into that. And I've heard, a lot of feedback from that as well. Some additional questions came in, and we've answered all of those. So just from that, you can tell there's a lot of interest and a lot of feedback, and we're taking that on board. From the solicitation, we received a healthy response, and looking at the companies, they are across, it's a diverse set of companies that have responded. Newer companies, small companies, larger companies. So I think we will have a pretty diverse selection going into the testing. I will give you an example, though, of our small industry base as well. In the last 2 months, maybe since Epic Fury kicked off, in support of both Epic Fury and Southcom 4th Fleet operations, we have awarded one contractor-owned, contractor-operated extension to vessels to make sure they keep operating. We've awarded 2 government-owned contractor-operated support contracts to make sure we have the operations in theater. We have awarded 2 contracts to buy additional vessels with 2 different companies. And not only did we award those, they were delivered. In some cases, we took delivery of boats within a week, and other ones were shortly thereafter. So we're it's no longer we buy, we wait for development, we wait, we start delivery. We're looking at what they're producing. We're buying literally right off the line.
Thank you.
Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you. Thank you both for your service. We hear a lot in the aerial sphere of combat about the capabilities of swarms, or lots of low-cost, often slow-moving swarms of drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, making targets very vulnerable. Does the same principle apply to undersea unmanned vehicles, where you could have the same, say, a submarine or a surface ship vulnerable to swarms of unmanned vehicles?
Senator, certainly a mass of adversaries makes your problem more difficult. And so for a surface ship defending herself against a swarm of unmanned aerial systems, we have exquisite weapons that are very expensive that we can use against that. And so recognizing that that's the wrong way to do this, we've equipped them with lower cost interceptors and counter UXS.
Clear. I'm talking about undersea.
Yes, for undersea, that
swarms of low cost, does the same potential principle apply?
It can. The coordination under the sea will be more difficult as the aerial systems can use radio waves to coordinate their attack, and you won't have that necessarily that same coordination between unmanned undersea vessels. But certainly any undersea threat can be a threat.
So our aircraft carriers could be vulnerable to that kind of undersea swarm or undersea unmanned vehicle.
An undersea vehicle can present a threat, yes, sir. And this is one of the reasons that we invest in exquisite anti-submarine warfare systems, because a UUV is still a type of submarine.
Would submarines be vulnerable?
I would want to take that question for the record, sir, outside my experience.
Are we looking at that issue?
Yes, we are.
Can you give us is this something we ought to be concerned about?
I think that we are always looking for new threats and how we counter them. And there are, in addition to the requirements division,